Hello and welcome to a View from the Bullens episode today. It is an 1878 special podcast, which we are now going to be doing on a monthly basis. We have Pete Mack with us, and we also have Katie Carter as well. So we're going to be discussing some of the points of the group, what the group does, sponsorships, and more things about the group. But I'm first going to go to Katie. Katie, it was your amazing idea which started all this madness over the last 2 to 3 years. Do you want to just tell the viewers about what it is the 1878 does?
Yeah, do you know what wasn't actually my idea?
Okay.
I just got roped in, and now probably most things are my idea. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it just come about. You know, we were struggling, weren't we, a couple of years ago, and still have been for the foreseeable. Yeah. And we just decided to gang of Evertonians get together, and basically try and help the team come out of the ship, basically. So that's exactly what we've done. Made contact with the club. They made some banners and flags, just something to get the atmosphere going a little bit in the ground. And, you know, obviously things have gone from so small to absolutely massive for us, for the group, and we've learned a lot along the way in them couple of years.
No, it has. It has been a I'd say an interesting ride, Pete. I know you've been part of it as well for the majority of it now. What's your role in the 1878, and what is it you do on like a before the match and after the match and during the match? And do you want to just tell us a bit about what you're doing?
I mean, to be honest, I basically just do whatever Katie and Gemma tell me to. But yeah, a lot of it's to do with the preparation work. So in terms of getting down to Goodison, setting up, you know, the flags and making sure everything's in place, getting a proper plan in place to make sure we know exactly where everyone's going to be. Obviously, as a collective, that's what we do. So even before you see the flags being held up in the match, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. Katie obviously comes up with so many ideas, which myself and Zach can help with in terms of designs and things like that, flag designs. I think everyone in the group kind of chips in with all different things. But yeah, it's been great to be a part of, basically.
No, it is good. We wake up most mornings to a new design from Katie or of new flags that we're looking to put out as well. But how much work, Katie, does go into like the I suppose the match day and preparation, and like how much of your time and effort and then the group, how much really hours of the day do you do?
Basically, it's a second job. It does take, you know yourselves, you know, doesn't take hours, it takes days of your time sometimes, especially if you've got back-to-back home games. And obviously each display we do, it's been in different areas this season, so it's been in 2 areas recently that we've never done a display in before. A lot during them weeks, we're also ordering more banners, you know, more poles, different designs, constantly working around the clock. Couldn't tell you the last time I had a free Friday.
No.
Yeah, it just does take over your life, to be honest. But you know what? When you look at it and you see the hard work that goes into it and what everybody puts in, you know, some more than others. Sometimes we do have to crack the whip.
Give them a bit of a kicking
within the group. And, you know, I suppose that's just like that in everyday life, do you know what I mean? And it depends. You know, you need things doing and you've got to get the job done, but it does take your time. But when you do see it and it all comes to plan, it's all worthwhile. The time's fantastic, and hopefully we can only get bigger and better.
Yeah, because this is like, just for people who might not know, it's like this is a group which has basically been formed from fans who care and love the club, and it's not been led by the club. It's all by donations from the amazing support. I think we've seen especially from the corrupt. Well, it was when obviously the whole corruption, Premier League stuff all come out. We've seen the amazing donations. I think it was nearly £44,000 worth of donations, which is unbelievable. Pete, have you got like a standout flag which you've liked since you've been doing it? Is the one which stands out?
Do you know what? I mean, there's a lot of consideration going into which flags we're going to use as well. One of my personal favourites is a new one, the Little Woods clock. Yeah. Because it's just a proper throwback. It's proper Everton. It's original. It's totally unique to Everton Football Club. But I think that's one of the things that I love the most about our displays, is that each of the flags has got its own little story and its own little relevance to Everton Football Club's history, whether that's us recreating an older flag that someone else has made and lost along the years, and bringing it back to Goodison Park, or bringing our own fresh ideas and celebrating part of Goodison Park's history.
Yeah, going on to the flags, obviously we see a lot of mentions on Twitter, and we got a few questions through the channel as well. Katie, is there more plans to, like, we've seen a lot of older ones at the moment, like Howard Kendall, some of the greats we've had in the great times when we were amazing at football. Is there any plans going forward for like any more up and coming players or players of recent times?
Yeah, so I don't know if people have seen recently, but we've actually gone into like a partnership with Mike, who runs Everton the Gear. Got a fantastic website, sells merchandise himself. He's helping us. He's become our main flag designer. We come up with rough ideas of what we want, as you know, and then we send them to him, and he just betters that idea. But there is plans in place for, you know, the more recent, in terms of like the past 20 so years. You know, your Tim Cahales, your Kubus, your PNRs and stuff like that, and obviously players who currently play for us now, because we have got a lot of old players, old history, but we need to bring the most recent history into it as well, because they're a big part of Goodison as well, and being there and a big part of the club.
I think we've seen that as well recently with like the Kevin Campbell tifo that we did, which was amazing. It was Kev Campbell was my favourite player growing up, so that, just to give viewers an example of how much that type of tifo would cost, that was nearly around £2,600, which is a hell of a lot of money, but it was for such an amazing person, which is tragically passed away recently as well. So I think that went down really well with the fans. I know Pete, it was one you liked as well, for as a fan yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, and it was nice as well to see how many people came together to help make that happen. Obviously, when we sort the tifos in particular, we've got to put those cards on every single seat in the park end, and it is a lot of work. When we did one last season, we only had a very small number of us to do it, and it took hours and hours and hours. You know, it took us a good...
How long would you say?
I mean, I was there till 9:30 at night. The lights were off and everything. There's only a couple of us left by then, but the Kev Campbell tifo, it was a great turnout, and I think that just showed how much he meant to Evertonians, because we had a lot of people coming in to volunteer to make sure we got that done. But again, it was a fantastic, moment, if you like. Watching it back as well and seeing the way the park ends just all came together.
It's nice his family were there as well, wasn't it?
It was nice, yeah. But I think as well, like, that's another prime example of where everyone is sort of in it together, if you like, where I understand that maybe what we do isn't for every single person, but at the end of the day, the flag displays don't happen unless people get on board with it, whether that's you holding up a flag on your seat, whether that's you getting involved with a tifo, or whether that's you donating kindly. It's all Evertonians who are doing this and running it and fronting it as well.
Yeah, I get the impression as well, listening to, like, seeing some of the players' reactions on Twitter, and also I think we deal with the club quite a lot as well in regards to getting access to the ground the day before the game, etc. And I know that I'm not speaking for the club, but I get the impression that they are grateful to what we do. I know you have to speak to the club a lot, don't you, Katie, about getting access into the ground the day before the game. How have they been overall with the 1878s in general?
They've been unbelievable, to be honest. I think I speak to the club more than I speak to Gemma at times, you know what I mean?
Speed dial.
The club have been fantastic, they really have. We've got a good relationship with them. We've built that relationship over the course of a couple of years. Some hurdles along the way, but, we've got over them. And the trust what they give us is brilliant, to be honest. They really are good with us, and we're in a very fortunate position. We go in the ground on a Friday or the day before the game, and we do have access, don't we, to the stadium itself. It is quite surreal. Although sometimes you can't forget where you are, because you're there, you've got a job to do.
Especially when you walk running down the touchline with a wheelbarrow full of flags
from one stand to another. But the club have been brilliant, and they obviously want us to continue this at Bramley-Moore. Future donations from themselves as well. When this first did start out, they used to give us grands, to be honest, and some of them big flags now what you see at Goodison, some of them cost about £4,000 to make.
Was the Jordan Pickford one at the weekend? Was that a club one, was it?
That's a club one, yeah. I think marching down the Goodison Road, we give them ideas, and they did a lot of money to buy. People don't realise how expensive, but obviously, we'll get onto that later on, but sometimes that money dries up, and you know, it hasn't been able to happen, obviously for obvious reasons, in like the past 12 months or so. But going forward, you know, the club are contributing, but they help us in so many other ways. Do you know what I mean? So can't fault them really, to be honest. And how they've been with us, they've been great.
No, they haven't. Like I said, from the dealings that we've had with them, Pete, I know you've done a lot of work with them, with Katie as well. How have you found the club in general, dealing with the 1878s?
Oh, fantastic, honestly. Mo and Dave in particular. I mean, Dave's the one who helps design the tifos as well. And Sharon, and Sharon, of course, and Christine. It's just a great group of people who obviously want the best for Everton Football Club. They're fantastic with us, like you say, in terms of the access they grant us and in terms of their support for us as well, whether that, again, means physically helping us
like
with the setup, like last week. I think Scott as well from Everton turned up, and those have, you know, it's as I say, it feels like a very strong collective now, and we seem to be all singing from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah,
like.
No, most definitely.
The fans as well. To be honest, it doesn't work unless the fans get on board, and you know, this is something that you used to see at Goodison in like the 60s, 70s and 80s, or like flags and stuff. Obviously not as many as what we have at the moment, but we're trying to recreate that and give it the best send off you can and take that into the new stadium and have that as a new thing from the off in the new stadium. But you know, I think a lot of fans forget, you know, especially the younger generation, we used to have these type of things going on at Goodison regular, and it just obviously fell away for the past 30 years. And if you can incorporate that back into your match day somehow, then that is what we're trying to do. Listen, it's not for everybody, I get that, but the majority, big majority, absolutely love it. The older generation, they do. Are the ones who get me. Like when you walk in the ground and they're fantastic. Like, we were in the park end the other day. They were superb. I'm not saying nobody else around the ground is, but I sit in the park end myself.
It was the same for the Bullens.
We get called.
It was the same for the Bullens the week before. I sit in the upper Bullens.
Everyone's dead helpful, and do you know what? The volunteers, what we get, they're brilliant, because without the fans being on board with it and helping you, it doesn't, you know, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're asking them as well. You're asking them to not go for an extra pint on a match day, to get in 40 minutes early. It's a big ask of what we're asking of people, to stop their match day routine, what they're so used to. So we're so grateful to have them on board as well, because obviously, you know, it wouldn't happen without them.
Yeah, I do think it was something at first, wasn't it, where it was only like Copites do this type of thing and all that type at the start. But I think now if you don't do it one week, people are asking, why haven't you done the flags?
Why haven't you done the flags? Yeah,
so
it's... What do you mean there isn't any?
No, exactly, that's what I mean. So it is something that I think the fans have I'd say 99% of the fans are now on board and now kind of expect us to do it every week. and there is a lot of work. But going on to, we mentioned about obviously donations and like sponsorships and everything before. I know obviously us at the channel have recently just sponsored one of the games, which was brilliant. Do you want to just tell us a bit about the sponsorships going forward and how people can donate as well going forward?
Yeah, so basically the idea just come about. The first sponsor that we had was the Lockett Bar in town, a new bar what just opened, ran by Evertonians, ran by the ones who own Hot Walk, and they got in touch. They give us a huge donation and they sponsored the game. Basically the idea come about, you know, we need funds. Basically, we're not going to sit here and kid ourselves. It only happens if you've got the funds to do it. So it kind of stemmed from there. They sponsored the first game, and then obviously yourselves on the channel got in touch and wanted to sponsor the Newcastle game. Yeah. Obviously a huge donation is going to be given from yourselves in a couple of weeks from the night what you're doing, off all the shirts and stuff at auction. So that's unbelievable, you know, that will get us so many flags and help us so much. And then it stemmed from there, and once one's done it, we've had quite a few people contact us. We've got Toffee TV, they're actually sponsoring the Brentford game at home, and on Saturday we had a huge donation given to us off Craig Prince, Brickwork, that's what, and he's given us a massive donation. He's sponsored the Chelsea game at home before Christmas. Yeah. He did ask for the derby. So, which was brilliant because it's a great idea. However,
I was going to say, you've got something to tell people at the derby, haven't you?
Just to let people know. So the derby, we've actually come up with an idea where we ask for donations all the time. Obviously, we need them to keep us going. So for this one game, what a better idea. The last ever league derby at Goodison, we've contacted the food banks. You've got 2 teams within the city. The food banks sponsor the game, but they don't make a donation. We donate to them. And when I say we donate to them, as a group, we're donating to them. As individuals, we're all throwing money in as a group ourselves. Nothing will be took out the pot to donate. So around that time when people give to us, or that payment, what comes out the bank, because we do have regular payments coming in now, we're asking to please not give to us that month. If possible, could you put that money towards food for the food banks and donate it on the day of the game to them? So rather than us taking, we want to give something back, and what a better opportunity than to help feed the people of Liverpool right before Christmas, Derby Day. You know, let's make it, if we can, the biggest food bank collection that Goodison's ever had on a match day, because I think it's so important. You know, we take so much off the community. I think we need to give back as well, and we think that's a perfect opportunity on that game. Brilliant.
Is there any other sponsors that you're looking to get involved, or?
Yeah, I think the Denby pub.
Yeah.
They're sponsored in the West Ham game next year.
Yeah, February, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, they're sponsored in that game next year. No, I think it's around March.
Is it
just
March?
Before
Okay.
Paddy's Day.
Okay.
Yeah. Could be a special tifo around that time.
Yeah, never know.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Paddy's Day and special tifo. So
yeah.
There could be one of them getting done. And I think the US Atalanta,
yeah.
they've come to us. I think they're going to be sponsoring the game towards the end of the season. So there is a lot of slots left, but you know what would happen is we're now going to start doing monthly blogs on the website, and we'll be thanking them. I think we're going to get a little piece in the programme at some point, hopefully. All our sponsors will be going in there. They'll be getting a mention, a thank you on the website, and what goes round every match day to fans via email. So, you know, we can't thank them enough, because without their donations we can't continue what we're doing. But yeah, that's the update so far on the sponsors and donations.
Brilliant. It's a lot of work again that goes into it. But Peter, do you want to just tell people how important like the donations are? And we understand at the moment it is tough for a lot of people out there in regards to like money. We all know what's going on in the world, but do you want to tell people how they can donate and where they can go to donate?
Yeah, first of all, if you do want to donate, go to 1878.co.uk, and there's different options for you to donate. You can either donate a single sum, or you can make a monthly payment if you so wish. I mean, in terms of the sponsorships as well, in terms of donations, you know, it is such a massive part. You know, it's so crucial for us, because we have to keep replenishing the stocks of the smaller flags that we put out on seats, for example. Obviously, whether, you know, some of them may go missing, some of them may get broken, some of them may get dirty. We have to replenish those, and they do cost a lot of money to get. So, and obviously as well, we've got big ideas for more designs. Eventually as well, we want to be able to fill out more of the ground, rather than just have to concentrate on one particular stand at any given time. So yeah, any donations are massively appreciated and hugely important.
No, they are, because the reality is this group can't continue without the donations, and I know we are always looking for, like, we are writing to other businesses, aren't we, as well, Kate? I know we've done it quite a lot lately, and we would appreciate any businesses to get in touch. They can get in touch via Twitter, they can get in touch via our website. I think our email address is on there as well. And also any volunteers that they can go on the website as well and get in touch with us if you want to volunteer to do match days. Also coming through the pod as well on a monthly basis, if we're going to be doing this on a monthly basis, get in touch with like ideas as well. We are always open to more ideas, aren't we? Because I know sometimes we're all looking at each other thinking whether it's the best option, or because let's be honest, the group on a daily basis coming up with a new player, isn't it, every week? So
new idea or new image of something, or just something, it's just a constant, isn't it? But I noticed we've had quite a few tweets lately saying, oh, can't you do this in every stand? Can't you do it in 2 stands at a time? Listen, we would absolutely love to, and that is the aim. However, we just don't have enough banners to do that. So if we were to basically just replicate the exact amount of banners what we've got now, if we were to just get the exact same, it would cost us roughly around £8,000 just to get the same. If we were to do that for 3 sides of the ground, that's going to be about 21 grand. And that includes the poles, the whips, the flags itself. That's without any one new design, anything to replace anything that gets damaged. It's an awful lot of money. So when people are saying, oh, can't you just do it? We'd love to do it. That is the total aim. That is what we all want. However, we don't have the funds to do it. That's without any more TIFOs, without anything else. So I think we have to think logically. And, you know, with that also, you need volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay, it's easy saying, you know, can we have it? But then you'd need 40, 50 volunteers in the Gladys Street, 40 in the paddock and the Bullens, main stand and the park end. You'd need about 250 volunteers, 200 volunteers per game to do that if you manage to get them all. So it's a lot to think about as well.
Yeah, going on to like you just mentioned there about the flags, just to give people a bit of an example of like the prices of what we've been paying for stuff lately. You've got like, people might have seen there are places I remember flag in the Gladys Street a couple of weeks ago. That was £789. You've got the 7 custom flags that we've just done recently, £500. The TIFO, £2,640. We can go back to last season, and this might we've done the Dyche flag. Some people yes or no for the Dyche flag, especially Ben. And then we obviously the Pickford and Coleman flag, which again cost a lot of money. And like Katie said, Peter, that's the most challenging thing, really, isn't it? As a group, really, that the prices of these things, they're not cheap, are they?
No, and that is the big challenge. Obviously, we're all committed to doing what we do. We're obviously going to put our time towards it. We're all volunteers at the end of the day, but in terms of actually getting in the flags and putting our ideas to life, if you like, actually getting them out there, it does cost money. It costs money to get these physically made, so it is hugely important. Like you say, we just had another one made at the weekend, or for the weekend, which was the, if you know your history one.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was another
I think
great...
it was about 1,200 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
1,200 yeah.
Then you had obviously the Neville Southall poles, we had the Howard Kendall one at the weekend, which was brilliant as well. It went down really well. But just a bit more about the group, really, Kate. What type of roles do people take on a daily basis? I know you're laughing. I know why you're laughing. Yeah, you can answer it as honestly as possible. Just like what type of roles? So like organising like meetups. Do they meet up on a regular basis? Like Twitter, emails, stuff like that. Do you want to tell us a bit about what roles people do?
I think
honestly,
we speak to each other more than we speak to our families. To be honest, I think we've become. Do you know what? Listen. Some shit gets given out in the group as well. We have to take it on the chin at the end of the day. You know, if you're not pulling your weight, you're going to be told. And rightly so, and that's for everybody. You know, if I'm not, people would tell me. Yeah. But that hasn't have to happen. No. I pull my weight, me and Gemma pull our weight certainly. But no, people have got roles who, you know, yourself, you deal with the finance things. So when we need things paying, you get handed. Peter's been doing the videos and stuff like that at the minute, and like designing some flags. To go through the group. To be honest, one of the hardest things at the minute was the map the weekend. So what people don't understand is when we go in on a Friday, we actually set the flags out where they should be. Just so you know they look right. You can't just give a flag.
You just don't put them out randomly.
Just go and stand, go and stand there, because you just end up clustered or out the way, and it doesn't have the effect what you're looking for and stuff like that. So poor Gemma sat the whole Saturday morning for 5 hours.
She did.
And redone this map. And to be fair, it worked great. Her and Kel worked together, Ham worked together brilliantly.
I had to go the night before, couldn't get my head around it.
We've got Barry Williams on a big wave now. That was he practised. Don't think he'll ever be on another one again. Zach does a lot in terms of stuff. Paul's come back into the group.
After he
so
left.
He'll be getting cracked with a whip as well soon. He'll have a job.
Got Ben waving,
yeah. So we have like particular roles, but you know, it's hard. I couldn't sit here and light it and say it's not hard work. It's hard work, but it's effective and it works in the end. And we'll continue to do it. God love us when we've got to go and do that TIFO and put cards on seats in that south stand, because
I see how steep it
I'm
is
on a
lately.
health kick at the minute. I think this is I'm in preparation for it, to be honest, to get up them stairs.
I was going to say, seeing everyone running up and down the park end on Friday, God help us, people, when we run off the south stand.
That was it, yeah. I mean, by the end of that, of Saturday, because we did the clean-up as well, so we had to go and collect in all the flags and then take them back down to where the Bullens is. Honestly, I felt like I'd done a proper session in the gym, full-on leg day for about 24 hours, because we did the Friday setup, then you've obviously got on the day you're doing the flag display, and then you've got to clean it up. It's a lot of effort, but yeah, it did cross my mind about halfway through setting the flags up. The south stand is twice the size of this, and it's steeper. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit more cardio, I think, before we get to that.
No, I was going to say, poor Jen, by the end of it, looked absolutely shattered on Friday. She looks like she's ready for a bed, I think.
Yeah. Just done in, absolutely done in.
We need to get ice baths, don't
we? I think we spent like two days consecutive, you know, and sometimes, listen, this is what it is, and this is what you have to do, unfortunately. To make things work, you've got to put the work in, otherwise it's not going to look like that. It's not going to be as effective as, you know, you'd have a certain way what you want it to look. You look at a certain stand and you think, yeah, that needs to be that way. It's not just go in there with flags and wave them. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It just doesn't, does it? So,
wish it was that easy.
If it was that easy, I wouldn't look 40. I feel about 50 and look about 45. But listen, it's all worth it in the end, and you know, we're fully committed to do what we're doing. We signed up to do this. Nobody made us do it.
No.
We're choosing to do it ourselves. I think the Fulham game at home, we're going to have a day off. We're out for the view from the Bullens the night before.
Yeah.
Don't think it's wise to go in and start waving fishing whips with a flag on the end the next day. But we're just going to have draped flags off the club that day. You know, it's not sustainable for us all to be doing what we're doing every single week. It is tough. So we are going to have a little bit of a break for that game and get back and give the Brentford one a good go with quite a few more additions added to it.
Yeah.
I know Mike's working on some designs now for us, isn't he? So we just need to get them finalised and sent off to print, and then, you know,
ready for
get my dad to run round and get the polls again and do things like that.
Ready for the Neil Malpai flag, isn't it? No? Brentford and Everton, no?
No.
Pete, just one last one, just before we wrap it up. Do you think this makes a difference to the players on a match day? Do you think it helps them going, for a home game? Do you think it gives them that bit of extra, like putting it in when they see all the flags come out? I know we've seen Seamus, didn't we, at the end of last season, and he mentioned it. He said what a great job we were doing. But do you think it does make a difference?
I think it does, yeah. I mean, I don't know whether we can go as far as saying it makes a difference on what happens during the 90 minutes, but we can certainly say it does give them a good welcome onto the pitch, and it kind of sets the tone a little bit in terms of, you know, if you're going out to Goodison Park, we all know that it can be one of the best places to play football and one of the best places to be. It can also be a place that can be quite intimidating for not just the away fans, but sometimes the home players as well. Yeah. I think certainly when we did the first big flag display last season, I think that was a bit of a turning point in terms of, one, our performances, two, our results as well, but also I just think it kind of got that connectivity back with the players. So I think that is massively important, and just sort of, you know, to touch on Everton women as well in terms of what happens at Walton Hall Park. That's something that I want to build up as well. I want us to get really involved with that. To give you an example, we had our first...
You were there the other week,
weren't you? So I was there the other week for the first home game of the season. We only had 3 of the waivers that we borrowed. 3 of the waivers on the halfway line, and I know how much the players loved it, and they loved to see it. Certainly Courtney Brosnan was one of the players who actually, our goalkeeper, who said she loved seeing them there. So it wouldn't actually take much to actually fill that entire certainly the whole stand with a load of flags. I know how much the support means to the players. I know how much it means to have as many people down at Walton Hall Park as possible. And I think if we just add that little bit of extra atmosphere, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, you know, from first hand, from what I've been told by players of Everton women in particular, the support means the world, and anything that we can do to sort of bring that support to both teams, we'll try our best to do so.
And just to let people know on that, with what Peter's saying, what date is it? The last Merseyside derby at Goodison, the women?
Yeah, it's get you the actual date now.
Yeah, we're going to do
it. On sale.
We're going to do a flag display.
Yeah,
like we will for the men. We're going to do the same thing. You know, 2 polars, waivers. We're going to give them, you know, rightfully what the club and what Goodison, what the women deserve as well. So they've never experienced that before. So you know, what a place to do it.
No,
Goodison
exactly.
For the last one, so we are going to be doing that as a group.
Brilliant. Well, we are going to put the link for the donations in the link on our YouTube, because it's going to be going live on YouTube as well. Also, like I said, if you could like the video and subscribe to the video, and also any ideas that anybody has for like future flags, we are welcome to any of them. This is going to be a monthly podcast that we're going to be doing. Hopefully get 2 of us, try and get them out the try and get them to do some work, Kate.
Yeah.
But going forward,
You can do that.
I'll do that one. Yeah, I'll get onto that one.
I've tried.
No, but thanks to Katie and thanks for Peter for coming on, and keep watching the channel. Like I said, like and subscribe, and up the toffees.